How many grey hairs do you have this January as you're trying to complete your child's school stationery list? Our family was a little bit more preventative in our financial worries this time of the year because the stationery list for our kids' school came out in October. And in November already, we decided let's get everything done then for the new year. But are you trying to figure out why you need 5 boxes of tissues? Some schools say you now also need handy Andy along with the printing paper and colored pencils. Domestos even on some of these school stationery lists. What happens if you don't get the full list? Is this a legally binding requirement that the school can impose on you? It's an annualized conversation that we have at the beginning of the year. I'm joined now by Sue Larkan, who runs Tabansi. It's a specialist law firm that relates to school issues and parental rights. Sue Larkan joins me now. Good morning, Sue. Hope you've been well. Do you have children of school-going age and you're already trying to snap up the final bits of the stationery list?
Morning, Lester, and to all the listeners. No, I fortunately don't have children at school anymore. I have grandchildren at school. But, the headache still remains the same over many years. And can I just correct you, we're not a law firm. We're a NGO activist group.
I appreciate that. Okay. I have a list here in front of me, and it's not my child's school's list. It's something that was sent to me, and along with the 2 choir books, the 4 43-gram Prit glue sticks, along with the 36 HB pencils, there's also a list of cleaning products. Like 750 milliliters of Sunlight dishwashing soap, 1 kilogram of pine gel, that's what you use to clean the floors with, Domestos, Jik. Are many schools now getting parents to buy the cleaning products as well?
Yes, and this has come in more frequently after COVID, but it's not legally binding. Schools are given norm and standard funding, which they actually are liable to buy this out of that funding. But with the costs and the reduction in funding to our schools, we are finding our Quantal 4 and 5 schools, which are your wealthier schools, pushing all this responsibility back onto parents. It's not legally binding. There's no way they can force a parent to buy these items. So a parent can decide if they want to buy it, if they can, or if they want to buy one item and issue it. On the other side, it actually is assisting the school in using the funding that they do get for other important costs like maintenance or whatever. So they do try and cover that, but there's no legal regulation that says you must.
Yeah, we do know that budgets have shrunk in real terms in terms
Absolutely.
of inflation. Schools aren't getting enough government body posts, or they're not getting government posts, whether on a permanent or on temporary contract posts. Schools are having to rely on school fees for school governing body posts. And if money needs to go to that, the money for cleaning products, maintenance, now being shifted to parents.
Absolutely. And the budget has been removed over a number of years. This year is not the first time. We're seeing this happening regularly, where budget is actually removed from our education, which is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned, because education is a necessity and a priority, and also a right. Unfortunately, with costs and everything, schools are pushing over these responsibilities to the parent to cover. And it just adds to the cost. I feel that although our school fees we're talking mainly in the Quantal 4 and 5 schools, that's your wealthier schools that are forcing or trying to force this on parents, is that they should be including this in their school fee costs. Or, so that parents aren't hit with these huge costs at the beginning of every year. And I've also said to parents, if you can't afford the full lot, maybe just relate it to the school, send them an email and say you would either buy what you can or you can't. We also have a number of unemployment and low-income parents and single parents.
What are schools obligated to supply? Because if I look at a list of average stationery list here, whether it be the two choir books, whether it be the glue sticks, whether it be the pencils, the erasers, metal sharpeners, red pens, whiteboard markers, scissors, rulers, exam pads, packs of 12 Stadler colored pencils, packs of bright or pastel paper pads, a box, not a pack, a box, and a box contains 5 packs of paper, of typing,
400 Rand odd, yeah.
of printing paper. What then are schools, in terms of a public school, obligated then to provide? If it seems as if parents are being asked to provide all the stationery that the child would need.
The basic stationery is the parent's responsibility, but as far as your printing paper, there again, that should, and if the school requires that, they should actually, again, pay for it and supply it through the norms and standard funding. But again, the same thing is they're pushing back that cost onto the parents to purchase. And the branded names that they're insisting on is ridiculous, because a few years ago, my last daughter was in school and I insisted on the stationery list because they'd already come in with this purchasing the stationery packages, and I bought her stationery for a third of the cost of what they were wanting me to buy through the school. Yes, the schools do get a commission back, so it's also a bit of a fundraising thing in inverted commas for the school. But again, the school cannot force you. There's no legal obligation for you to purchase those packages. It's a parent's obligation to make sure the children have the right exercise books, the right pencils, the pens, whatever, but it doesn't have to be their branded. The schools are doing this as well, and mainly in the lower phases, your grade R maybe to grade 3. It's also to keep a uniform of what the children have, because we do get bullying through children of wealthier children that parents were able to afford these branded stationery, and a child that hasn't. But so there's a little bit of that, but again, there's no obligation to it. The school government provides core stationery to school, which includes the textbooks, pencils, pens, and colors, funny enough, according to the Schools Act, which is learner and teaching support materials.
Just a quick question. We're running out of time, Sue, unfortunately, but a question a parent's asking here about what about the branded school bags that they're being forced to buy?
Again, that's part of uniform, but she should go and speak to the school, because it is, if she can get a cheaper bag, that's the same. But unfortunately, your branded school bags usually have the school name and badge printed on the actual bag. If that's the case, it's usually provided only by the school. And again, we can go onto the Competition Commission that has on many occasions stepped in and said schools have to make available these products at more than one supplier, and that includes the school. If she can have the same color as the school, I wouldn't see any problem. The child should not be penalized at all.
Sue Larkan, I unfortunately have to leave it there, but she's an activist with parent interest group Tabansi.